Hi, everyone. This is Rick Moore, co-founder at Bidpoint, and we're
Mhm.
excited to talk about our flagship service and the relationship that we have here with Avion Energy, which is how we got started with Bidpoint. And we happen to have the CEO here, Jim Sharon. We've known each other for a long time, worked together for a long time, and Avion Energy's been around a long time, and so has Bidpoint. And so we're going to talk about the whole energy procurement business. It's all over deregulated markets, all over America. And Jim's got a very deep understanding. We call him the Minister of Energy. That's not an official title, but it's just something that we call him here. So as you're looking at a program, we want to talk about what's unique about what we do at Avion Energy and the relationship here with Bidpoint. So Jim, thanks for being here today. And if you would share a story, and I know it's a good one.
Yeah, we've been at this now. We're in our 15th year of business, and the past 3 years now, we've been recognized by an energy industry publication, Energy Business Review. They do all kinds of articles about anything and everything energy related. We've been recognized in the top energy procurement service providers in the country. It started out actually the first year, Rick. I'll just share this with you. They called it top 10, but now this year, I don't know, maybe they couldn't find 10. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but now they're referring to it as the top energy procurement service provider, and that's top, not plural or anything. So I don't know if that means that we're the only one, if there's an actual top. So I'm just having some fun with this with you right now. But anyways, uh, um, it's great to have that recognition from the industry. The little certificate that they gave us details, they chose us through because of recommendations from clients and industry leaders, C-level executives and their board that picked the winners. Well, it's the third year in a row now that we've had that recognition,
Yeah, yeah.
and we're very grateful for it that people know and recognize we've been around long enough, have a big client base, and be to be recognized like that in the industry is phenomenal.
No, it's fantastic, and a big client base and a huge supplier network too. That's
Yeah.
that's been built over the years. And as my background is also energy, and since the beginning days of you, myself, and Joe Mediga being with this program together, and that's another thing too is that you've maintained the just the expert level staff that's all around. You've got such a core group of experienced people too, behind the
Yep.
scenes. That's an advantage of working through Bidpoint with Avion Energy is that you don't have to be an energy expert. We talk about one
Hmm.
of our things we like to say is we turn contacts into contracts, and
Hmm.
no better place to do that than right here with Avion Energy, because the other thing that you guys also have accomplished is a very, very successful renewal relationship with clients in addition to the contracts you put them into.
Most definitely. I think when a client through our process, it's one of those aha moments. They realize we're glad we found Avion Energy. We could never do this ourselves. And the reason to say that is that, we've got the largest network of energy suppliers that we've been able to put together. And we thought that was going to be real easy to do. And it turned out it was one of the hardest things to do. And right now, actually, I don't think I've shared this number with you recently, but we've added several in the past 6 months, and I've got a few more contracts I'm negotiating right now. But right now, we're at 93 is the
Wow.
number of energy suppliers that we have under
Wow.
contract.
I can't wait to
So that
101.
number keeps growing. You know,
Yeah, I can't
there's
wait to get to 101 so I can say over 100, you know?
yeah, I know. Well, that'll happen soon,
Yeah, I
I
know it
think.
will.
And these are big companies like Constellation Energy. Everybody's probably familiar with Constellation and Shell. You mentioned the name Shell. Everybody knows Shell or BP. These are big, huge companies. We thought we could get contracts with all of them, and it took years because even though we had a big vision, we weren't bringing enough business to the table initially that we could earn a seat. We found out later that they just don't have an unlimited number of brokers that they deal with. It's a limited number. They only or I should say, uh, provide a certain amount of resources to a broker department, and so it's limited, and you have to earn your spot. And of course, we accomplished that. Oh, it was probably 10 years ago now when we finally got. At that time was the largest network or largest energy supplier in the network. That was Constellation at the time, and they're still number one. They buy up other companies, the other suppliers that are close to them. Will go out and buy up another company, and now they got the biggest book and they're number one. And then Constellation comes back by somebody else, and they become number one again. And it changes from time to time, but um, the top 30, we have all of those. And then there's always newer companies coming into the market, and a lot of those are more regionally based.
Mhm.
But sometimes, they certain qualifications to handle business and to serve our customers well, or we wouldn't do business with them. We've, turned some down that didn't meet certain qualifications.
Mhm.
But they're hungry, and sometimes they can provide great pricing. Many times not, but that's we want to know from all of them who's got the best price, and that's the I talked earlier in your introduction. You talked about, well, what's unique about Avion? What makes us different than anything out there? I think that's some of the reasons why we're recognized in the top energy service providers. Um, we have not only the largest network of energy suppliers, but we built some technology, some proprietary technology that allows us to get, however many, 15, 20 companies all bidding on our platform of competition, knowing that I'm putting their name, their prices side by side with all their competitors. And the only hope they have of winning the business is to have the best price. And a company, one of our clients, would never task some employee to go out and get prices from 15 suppliers. They just never, ever would do that.
Right. It wouldn't be
Um,
possible. It wouldn't, yeah.
yeah, you have to talk to 15 different salespeople. You have to get all the prices in on the exact same day because prices are changing in the commodities markets every 15 minutes. And the truth of the matter is, unfortunately, I'm kind of pulling the curtain back a little bit, maybe, but there's the smoke and mirrors in the sales process that takes place. If everybody's selling the same thing, you have to understand there's nobody that has special electricity. This is better electricity than everybody else. That doesn't exist. It's all the same thing. So it really comes down to price. And so some of the sales tactics that some of these different sales companies or salespeople use, they'll quote something, but it's not an all-inclusive price. There's some pass-through charges buried on page 5 of a contract. And then they find out later after they get their first bill that they're actually paying more than maybe a different bid they might have got. So we clear the air of all that. We are fully transparent in what we do. It's an apple to apples comparison. We make it real simple and easy for the customer to be able to make a good quality decision about who they want to book an energy contract with. And, I can probably count on one hand over all these 15 years the times that somebody chose a company that wasn't the lowest. And there was some reason for that, but it's just been a very handful of things like that. It's almost always lowest when uh, if you're doing it yourself, a company will never discover who's got the best price. They'll just stumble into it by chance. And if you're operating your business and electricity is something you have to have, and you have to pay for it, why leave that to chance? Wouldn't you want to know who's got the best price out there on any given day? And that's what
Well,
we deliver.
yeah, and
And
in
we
reality,
manage things for
people,
our customer.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, in reality, people don't know. They feel like, well, if I just call the pricing desk, I mean, someone's getting a commission on every single energy transaction. And I want to clarify this too for everybody too, that somebody that may not know is we're talking about deregulated electricity and natural gas all over the United
Yes.
States. And so underlying all these retail suppliers that we're working with, there's also a utility network underneath there. So it's got some complexity to it.
Yes, it
And
does.
so Avion solves all that. I think one of the biggest points, and you could, illustrate this a little bit, is that we go and gather all this pricing in this platform, and then our clients make their own decision based on our
Yes.
recommendation, as opposed to in some brokerage arrangements, I found you the best price, it's with X and it's for this period of time. Well, we're a lot more refined and granular about that, and our pricing is customized too. And so that's something that's really important. And the fact that we can handle really any size business. I mean, bigger is obviously better. And for those of you out there that want to generate commissions in energy, bigger is better, whether it's number of
Mhm.
locations or amount of energy you use. That's going to be important. You can't get there on barbershops. You know, you want
Yep.
some nice bigger clients, chains. I mean, it could be property management, assisted living, it could be manufacturing, it could be chain restaurants. But I mean, you can talk about at a deeper level. We've got some really, really big clients, but we've also got clients that have many, many locations. So we can do either.
Correct. Yep.
How does
Yes,
that
we
work,
do.
by the way? If you have a client that has like, I know there's clients out there with several hundred locations, which has to cover a lot of states and a lot of utilities. I mean, how do you manage that?
We manage it through our proprietary technology.
Mhm.
The thing is that the customers out there that have these 400 or 500 locations across multiple jurisdictions, um, they don't have that technology. They've not invested the money that we did to create something like that. So they don't manage it very well. And take the ones also that are constantly opening, closing retail locations, trying to improve, sales by moving to a different location. We can handle all those sorts of things all the time too. But um, it's too much to try to keep up with. When you think about it, every single state has its own rules and regulations about how this business is going to take place in their state. And then the Public Service Commission or Utility Commission has its own set of rules. The utility energy suppliers have a set of rules. So on any given request for pricing, it's well over 10,000 variables that could take place. And that's why we had to build a technology to handle all that, massage all that, to take care of things for the customer. And we can manage those accounts that have 450 locations just as easy if it was somebody that had 2 locations. And so that's really important to know because the company with the 450 locations, I promise you, they're not managing it very well. And most of them are out of contract because somebody, would take a handful of employees to do it, which increases the cost of energy for the company if they're taking into account the expense of having those employees they're doing it. Or they could have us do it, and it doesn't cost them anything. So,
And certainly, I know a lot of the stories internally to both Bidpoint and Avion are like these massive companies. People assume that they've got it handled, even internally
right.
with the company, even with their procurement departments, and they don't find out until you dig in that it's actually not being handled. I think part of that is if somebody looks the other way on something like this for a quarter or a few
Yeah.
months, you'd never catch up. I mean, right? You'd really never
Yeah.
get your head around it the way that Avion can come in and do that. And I've seen, you know, and this is something else we can move this into is like this whole process and the customized process and what we do. It really, while it's complex on the back end and we've got all this technology and we're talking about all the complexities that exist, this is really very simple for a rep. There's a very simple
Absolutely.
permission process,
Yeah,
and then we hand it off to the experts behind the scenes. So once
that's
again,
correct.
you don't have to be an expert in energy. We turn your contacts into contracts, and you get paid a residual commission on that. And we've been doing it for over a decade together. So,
Yeah.
and Avion's been around 15 years, Bidpoint almost 10 now. So, when we talk about on the bid point side and tell us what the kind of beginning stages are when we're carrying it over and getting Avion what they need for information. On the bid point side, our 8-second question is, I don't know if we can help you or
Mhm.
not, but if we can get a look at your most recent energy bills, we can check to see if you're being overcharged.
Yes,
And it's
that's
not
correct.
it's not just price, it's also being in the right type of contract or being in a fixed price contract for protection purposes or whatever it might be.
That's
So
right.
can you talk to that and for a rep working in with the liaison group and the broker department at Avion, what that looks like for a rep?
Yeah, sure. Just picking up a complete copy of a billing statement, front and back of all the pages, that there's all kinds of information that we need to look at. But we're willing to do a free analysis of that information to determine if there's an opportunity to help the customer, to say, find out if they're in a contract or whatever the case might be. We'll do that. And then once we see something, an opportunity to serve, we'll go ahead, reach out to the customer and provide them with some documentation. Basically, there's a couple different permission slips in the industry that are used. One is an LOA, a letter of authorization, that is ultimately sent to the utility company simply to get 12-month historical usage. Breaks down how much they've used every month for the last 12-month period. And we use that to build our request for pricing that gets sent out to all the energy suppliers. They want to know that detailed information so they can go ahead and put together a custom price for us for our clients. So it's the utility company won't release that without just a little permission slip that says that it's okay to release it to Avion Energy. That's all that is, and it's consistent in the industry. The other is a letter of representation, which basically is used to inform the energy suppliers who are going to be bidding that ABC company is choosing Avion Energy to gather pricing for them. In a deregulated market, there's probably in the past somewhere they've used a company or they've made a phone call. They're dealing with some salesperson. If it's dealing with the retail sales department across the hallway from the broker department, it's a different salesperson, and they just want to know, who do we give the pricing to? The old channel, the old relationship, or to Avion Energy. So if you're choosing Avion to go do all this work for you and utilize our platform of competition, we just need that letter that says you're choosing to use us. Uh, in any way, it's just for today. It's a letter that gets sent to energy suppliers that say release pricing to Avion. So those two documents are the only piece of paper we need, and then we'll go do all of our work and communicate with the customer all along the way, and keep you guys, the Bidpoint sales agent, involved in the whole process. But present pricing, if the customer's not in a contract, then it's a real simple thing. They can choose whatever term contract they like, and the price, and all those things. If they're in an existing contract already, it's good to have them in the system so that we can treat them just like they're one of our customers already. Watch for buying opportunities. I was sharing just this afternoon, telling the story of one of our quick service restaurants in the Philadelphia area. Gene is busy running the restaurant. He doesn't have time to watch the commodities markets. But when we hit a 30-year low for electricity, Gene was already in a contract. Hey, 18 more months to go. But we called him and said, hey, Gene, this is a great buying opportunity. Let's put your next contract in place now. It'll start
Mhm.
18, 19 months from now. And but you can take advantage of this low price that, hasn't happened for the past 30 years. Uh, so, if a business is saying, well, let's just wait till our contracts expire, they might miss an opportunity like that. It's better to get in our system so we can treat you just like you're one of our clients already. Um, and we'll look out for you and look for those kind of opportunities, let you know if something like that comes up. And when your contract's nearing expiration, we'll also let you know, 90, 120 days before, and we'll start the process and discover who's got the best price, for you at any given time. So that's just what we do. We do it day in, day out, and the systems are in place. We got employees that love working here. They've been here since the beginning,
Yeah.
and they have the expertise and the knowledge. There's not anyone that buys electricity in some special way that we're not aware of, and there are very few things that are special, just so you know. And so it doesn't matter if it's like a hospital or it's a big distribution center or it's a municipality or school system. It doesn't matter what the customer is. They all use and pay for electricity the same way as little mom and pop restaurant on Main Street.
Right.
So
So you're saying it doesn't come
um,
in flavors then?
yes,
Yeah.
that's correct. So there's not anything that we haven't experienced over all these years and can't do or arrange or take care of.
Well, something you mentioned there, it's really important, is that building someone that's gonna engage with us at Bidpoint and also Avion, the objective is to build a book of business. And we typically talk about let's get let's get you 20 clients. Let's start that process of getting you 20 clients. And some of those clients are going to come right away, but having people understand and taking the longer view, you're building a residual income. And so your point about get them in the system so we can use our system to follow up on your behalf. And they're going to be
Yes.
our internal people are going to know pricing. You don't have to know. We may notify
Yeah.
you to get in touch with the client, but you don't have to know when to go, when it's time to strike. That's our job on our side. This is an amazing, amazing platform that you as a Bidpoint rep have access to, that other people around the world of what we do are paying dearly for the ability to have access to that information for your potential clients. Did I mention we turned contacts into contracts? I don't know if we mentioned that.
I
I
think
think
you
I mentioned
did.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So there you go. That's how we do
Yeah.
it. So we have a sales funnel on your behalf. You don't have to manage it. We've got people behind the scenes doing it. All you have to do is funnel people in to our system. And whenever the timing is right, maybe it's 6 months out, maybe it's 18 months out, maybe they're not ready yet. But when we've got them in a system, and typically they are. I remember I had this big discussion after coming from a Fortune 500 size energy company. I was having an argument over here in the living room with Joe Mitiga about what do you mean you close all of them? What the heck are you talking about? I didn't understand the process myself. Do you remember that? I don't know if you were there.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that was years ago. It was like he's just looking at me like, "You're not getting it." No, I'm not getting it. And then finally I got it. So I had to call him up and say, "Okay, I got it." I had to see how it worked myself. So if you're out there looking at this and you've got experience in the industry, hold my beer. We have a system we have a system and a way of doing things that you haven't seen. You may have seen some of the technology, but you haven't seen the whole package of what we have here. I can promise you that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Jim, I think we're giving people something to kind of take a look at here and to find out what's unique about what we do. And we've been at it for a long time and had a lot of success with it. And we're always looking for talented people to entrust us to help them build a book of energy, and a book of energy that obviously becomes uh, a long-term residual income. So I think that uh, it's pretty exciting. I know it's unlimited what you could do with this because the size of the clients, there's no limit to what we can handle. When you're talking about, companies like Constellation and Shell and BP and those kinds of companies. I mean, those are big companies, and obviously they have a lot of clients, right? And so
That's correct.
every rooftop you see, and I'm talking about commercial rooftops, right? We are talking about commercial energy. Uh, by the time you've seen this, you probably already know that. But and we learned early on because Jim, didn't we all start in residential energy, right?
That's
And we
correct. We
learned
did.
that commercial energy was many multiple times the
That's
commission
right.
potential of residential energy. So you're gonna have you want 20 residential clients? That's great. That'll keep you in, that'll take care of your Starbucks bill for the month. But
Yeah.
if you put 20 significant commercial clients on, it'll take care of a lot more. So Jim, I want to thank you for your time today. And
Oh,
excited.
I got to jump in and I got to say one more thing because there's a huge advantage that we haven't even touched on.
Okay.
And for any Bidpoint agent, the fact that they can contact you and get your undivided attention to assist them in getting a deal closed, it's just a huge advantage to have someone with all the expertise that you have in the industry. I recommend if you're serious about building a book of business, let Rick mentor you, coach you to on how to do it. It'll save you a lot of heartache and frustration and a lot of extra effort that you don't need to do just to focus in on the things that he's going to recommend that you do. You can get there much faster, be focused and use his help. He'll arrange any expert, myself or Kim Johnson or anybody, to talk to any of your clients when necessary. He himself can do that. Uh, that's just huge to have that kind of help just waiting in the wings if you're serious about going to work.
Well, I appreciate that, Jim. And it's the same back to you guys. There's hundreds of years of experience behind you and the staff at Avion. So anybody who really truly wants to get up to speed on this can do it pretty efficiently, effectively, and we're excited about the opportunity to talk to people all along the way. So I want to thank everybody for their time today, taking a look at this. Thank you, Jim, and everyone at Avian Energy, and look forward to conversations out there. Remember, we turn your contacts into contracts. Let us help you do it.
All right. Thanks, Rick.